Shalom, my friends. This is Max Joseph, and I'm here because the Spirit Award nominations were just announced, and I have so many thoughts and so many feelings. I'm not going to talk about each category necessarily. I'm just going to kind of spew words. So here we go. First, let's break down the nomination numbers. No shock here, A24 led the pack with a whopping 18 nominations, followed by Neon with 10, Amazon with 8, Netflix with 7, and IFC Midnight with 6. And then in a shocking turn of events, the Safdie brothers' Uncut Gems is tied with The Lighthouse with the most nominations, earning 5 each, followed by Honey Boy with 4, Hustlers with 3, Give Me Liberty with 3, Marriage Story with 3, Clemency with 3, Driveaways with 3, Last Black Man in San Francisco with only 2, The Farewell with only 2, and The Mustang with 2. So here are my thoughts. For Best Feature, we have A Hidden Life, Clemency, The Farewell, Marriage Story, and Uncut Gems. I'm thrilled for The Farewell. It's one of the best movies of the year and 100% deserves to be there. However, I'm beyond shocked that Clemency and A Hidden Life managed to get in. I thought Honey Boy and The Lighthouse were shoo-ins for this. Honey Boy earned 4 nominations, including Alma Har'el for director, shout out to Jewish filmmakers, 2 supporting nods for Noah Jupe and Shia LaBeouf, and it scored another well-earned nominations for its gorgeous cinematography. The Lighthouse earned a Best Male Lead for Robert Pattinson, a no surprise supporting male nomination for Willem Dafoe, cinematography, and editing. So, with all these nominations, I was shocked that these two couldn't get in for Best Feature, especially since this was A Hidden Life's one and only nomination, and somehow didn't get one for its strongest part of the movie by far, the cinematography.
Do you think your defiance will change the course of things?
Yeah, no!
If God gives us free will, we're responsible for what we do.
Speaking of one nomination, Booksmart? I am flabbergasted at the lack of nominations here. It only managed to get Best First Feature. I was praying that this is where Booksmart would shine. I was hoping that it would get screenplay, at least one acting nomination for Deaver and Feldstein, even one for Billy Lord. I am so sad that it couldn't manage to pull more out. An amazing coming-of-age film directed beautifully by Olivia Wilde. It deserves so much more. And then, possibly the most overlooked film of the year, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. It received only 2 nominations. One for First Feature, and in my head, a nominee that should be sweeping this awards season, Jonathan Majors for Best Supporting Male. I am hoping this nomination here somehow puts him in the conversation for future awards. It's not a category here, but the score for Last Black Man in San Francisco would be in the discussion for top 10 of the decade. I'd put it right up against If Beale Street Could Talk. It's that gorgeous. Anyway, I'll get more into Majors in just a couple minutes. For director, I'm pretty confused. We have Eggers for The Lighthouse, Har'el for Honey Boy, Ona for Loose, the Safdie Bros for Uncut Gems, and Scafaria for Hustlers. I'm surprised because Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story didn't get in here. It's confusing, he got in for screenplay, and in my mind he's one of the top 5 for the Oscar. So what does this mean? Could it be that perhaps we have a 5th slot open up? Maybe for someone like Greta Gerwig or Lulu Wang? And where is Lulu Wang's nomination here? That's my most surprising in this category, and perhaps in all categories. I think that this nomination could have potentially propelled her to more interest in the future, but her being looked over isn't a good sign. She didn't get in for screenplay. What happened? Did they just forget to nominate her in general? And it's the same for Best Female Lead. I thought that Awkwafina was an easy nomination, and the lack of love for her here is very surprising. She's flirting with being in that 5th slot for an Oscar, and it boggles my mind as to why she wasn't in this lineup. It felt like the most obvious pick in this category. I also love the nomination for Elizabeth Moss. I was praying this into existence, and it's easy to say that this is one of the best overall performances of the year. I doubt she'll get anything more than this, so I'm happy she was nominated for a Spirit Award. Very well deserved. And my other biggest snub of the day, what in the actual happened to Florence Pugh in Midsommar? Can someone please explain what happened? One of the best performances I've seen this decade. And she seems to be getting shut out from everything. I don't understand it. Toni Collette was nominated for Hereditary.
Don't you ever raise your voice at me. I am your mother. Do you understand?
So it's not like this would be an absurd nomination. It is one of the most remarkable performances I have ever seen in my life. I know that no one else probably says that, but like that is how passionately I feel about Florence Pugh in Midsommar. The way she is able to convey death and grieving is beyond anything I have ever seen in my life, and I don't get it. For male lead, I just love the nomination for the underrated and underseen The Mustang. Matthias is a great nomination, and although he may not win, he's a great pick. And for some reason, my immediate winner here is Adam Sandler. That may change, but like right off the bat, in the heat of the moment, gun to my head, he's my pick. Uncut Gems is tied for the most nominations, and I think it would just be so cool if Sandler somehow won this. Chris's nomination was a little out of left field for me. I thought that perhaps they'd give it to August for A Hidden Life or Jimmy Fails for The Last Black Man in San Francisco. And I'd also swap Kelvin Harrison Jr.'s performance in Loose for his performance in Waves. Although I loved Loose, I think he and the film itself was better in Waves. But thrilled that he still got something. Breakout Actor of the Year, without question. Next, let's dig into Best Supporting Female. We have our first nomination for Zhao Shushen, and I am thrilled for her, and I hope this nomination propels her to a future Oscar nomination. They also gave 25-year-old Taylor Russell a nomination for her outrageously brilliant performance in Waves. And then we got Jennifer Lopez. The hype is real, my friends. The hype is so real. I've been saying it since the beginning. She is a force in this movie and is no joke. 100% deserves this nomination, and she is coming for that Oscar nomination. And they gave a nomination to Octavia Spencer for Loose. I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but I'm thrilled it did. She's kind of been stuck playing the same role for the last decade, and it's nice to see her do something so different and do it really well and be recognized for it. So, I talked about it earlier, but Best Supporting Male is stacked here, and I love it. 4 of the 5 nominees aren't surprising. I think the 5th slot, which was taken by Wendell Pierce, is the only one that wasn't a lock in my mind, but I love that a lot of these nominees do give recognition to some films that have been kind of unheard of, even to me for a few, and it'll put them more in the spotlight, which is awesome. And for this category, although I love all these nominees, like I said a minute ago, I so desperately want Majors to win here. I would say this is actually the category I feel most passionately about. Dafoe and maybe LaBeouf are the 2 nominees who have a chance at the Oscars, and I think this is as far as Majors will get, which is a travesty. One of the most truthful and sincere performances this year. There were so many incredible performances throughout the season, but I can't stress enough how shameful it is that Majors isn't getting more recognition. But this is a great step for him, and who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised with more love for him throughout the season. Fingers crossed.
Great news is you're all doing marvelous work. Congratulations. It's not easy. I believe you, but I know it can be deeper.
Last, a quick tidbit about Marriage Story. For everyone who was shocked that Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, and Laura Dern didn't earn nominations, it's because Marriage Story won the Robert Altman Award, which means that it is ineligible for the individual acting categories, which I think they would have most likely won. And this is actually great news in my mind because it means 2 things. 1, Marriage Story is going to do well this award season. 2, and most important, it gives more recognition to the films and actors who won't be as well known. Those are my immediate reactions and thoughts on the Spirit Award nominations. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And so, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram at mjoseph492. Like my page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/maxjosephfilmperson. And if you really love me, please consider being a patron on Patreon, where you can get patron-only content, guest interviews, giveaways, and lots more. You can even give me a film to review or a song to cover, and that video will be dedicated to you. Shalom, my friends.